All right, let's dive into a story about just 6 minutes. 6 minutes that literally created a legend. This is a tale straight out of World War II, one that's all about immense frustration, impossible odds, and honestly, one of the most incredible displays of aerial combat you'll ever hear about. Okay, put yourself in this situation. It's January 11th, 1945. You're a pilot, up there on a pretty routine recon mission with just your wingman, and then, bam, 13 enemy planes appear on the horizon. What do? I mean, the smart move, the safe move, is to drop low, stay hidden, and get the heck home, right? But Captain William Shomo, well, he didn't make the smart move. He made history. And just look at these odds. They were staggering. You've got two American planes going up against a massive enemy formation of 13. And that includes a high-value Betty bomber. I mean, on paper, this is a suicide mission. There's just no other way to put it. So you have to ask, why on earth did he choose to attack? Well, what started out as just another day at the office, a standard photo run over the Philippines, it suddenly turned into the moment of a lifetime. For Shomo, this wasn't just some tactical problem to solve. No, this was the opportunity he had been waiting for his entire military career. And to really get why he did it, we have to understand the man himself. His choice to pull up and fight against those completely overwhelming odds, it was fueled by years of pent-up frustration. A burning desire to prove himself in the one place, the one arena that had always been just out of his reach. So let's rewind a bit. Before the war, William Shomo wasn't a legendary pilot. He was an undertaker from Pennsylvania. He joined the Army Air Forces with one single goal: to be a fighter pilot, a fighter ace. But for 16 long months, the war, it had other plans for him. For 16 grueling months, Shomo was stuck flying these outdated planes, P-39s and P-40s, that just didn't have the legs to reach the real dogfights. Can you imagine? He flew over 200 missions, photographing empty beaches and strafing supply trucks, while pilots in other squadrons, flying P-38s and P-47s, were becoming famous aces. The frustration must have been off the charts. It was only in December 1944 that he finally got the plane that could change everything, the beautiful, long-range F-6D Mustang. Think about this. He was a highly trained fighter pilot, but his main job was to be a photographer. It's like being a race car driver who's only allowed to drive the parade lap. You're watching your comrades become these celebrated aces, and you're stuck behind a camera? The feeling of being sidelined must have been immense. And then, things start to change. Just 24 hours before our main story, on his 203rd mission, he gets his first taste of combat. He spots this lone Japanese bomber coming in for a landing, and he just takes it down. Now, it wasn't a dogfight, not really. It was more like target practice, but it was enough. It was a spark, and it sharpened his hunger for a real engagement. So now you've got the picture. He's got that single victory under his belt, 16 months of frustration boiling behind him, and that's when he spots the enemy formation. He looks over at his wingman, tells him they're going in, and what happens next? It's a masterclass in aerial tactics. The key to this whole thing, the absolute game changer, was total surprise. Shomo executed this textbook perfect maneuver, an Imelon turn, that put him perfectly behind the enemy, totally unseen. Now, the Japanese pilots, they weren't used to seeing the Mustang silhouette, so they actually thought he was a friendly escort. Some of them even waved. And that one single mistake, that gave Shomo the tiny window he needed to turn the tables. And with that, the fight is on. The sky just erupts into absolute chaos. The next 6 minutes will go down in history. Let's break it down, kill by kill. Okay, kill number 1. His first burst of fire absolutely shreds the leader of the trailing fighter element. At point-blank range, those 6.50 caliber machine guns are just devastating. The enemy plane doesn't go down in flames, it simply disintegrates. He doesn't even pause. He just shifts his aim right over to the wingman. Another quick burst, and the second plane is falling away, burning. That's 2 kills in, 3 seconds? Unbelievable. At this point, the Japanese formation just completely falls apart. It's total chaos. Pilots are scattering, diving every which way. There's no coordinated response, just individual panic. And, chaos always favors the attacker who's prepared. Shomo doesn't give them a single second to regroup. He picks another target out of the disorganized mess. A quick burst, and a third fighter explodes. Then he just cuts right across the broken formation, lines up on a fourth plane, a Tony fighter, and boom, it's instantly destroyed. 4 down. All right, now for the main prize, the Betty bomber, which is desperately trying to escape. Shomo pulls a split S, diving below and coming up right underneath it. He fires into its unprotected belly, and with that 5th kill, in just a matter of minutes, William Shomo becomes a fighter ace. But he's not done. Not even close. After shaking a fast Tojo interceptor off his tail in this crazy tight spiral, he sees 2 of the escorts trying to run for it. He dives on the first one and takes it out. That's number 6. He is pushing his Mustang to its absolute limits, now just feet above the ground. He catches that last runner, the final escort, and scores his 7th and final victory. And the whole thing, the entire fight, took just 6 minutes. And just like that, the sky is quiet again. The only thing left are these columns of black smoke rising from the wreckage below. The fight is over. But the legend of William Shomo, well, that's just beginning. So when he gets back to his base, he performs a victory roll for each kill. Imagine being on the ground watching this. 1, 2, 3 rolls. By the 4th roll, the entire base has stopped what they're doing and they're just staring at the sky. By the 7th, they know. They know something truly unbelievable has just happened. The final tally, which was later confirmed by his gun camera footage, was just astounding. You had 2 American pilots engage 13 enemy aircraft. They destroyed 10 of them, 7 for Shomo and an incredible 3 for his wingman, Paul Lipcomb. And they came back to base without a single bullet hole in their planes. It is still one of the most lopsided victories in the entire history of air combat. That single 6-minute dogfight made him an ace in a day and earned him the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest decoration. But here's the stat that just blows my mind. In his entire career, Shomo only ever saw 14 enemy aircraft in the sky. He shot down 8 of them. That's a kill ratio of 57%. That number is it's simply unmatched. So in the end, Shomo's story really leaves us with this powerful question, right? He spent years training, studying, and just waiting in frustration. But when his moment finally arrived, all of that pent-up preparation was unleashed in 6 minutes of absolutely flawless execution. It's an amazing reminder of what can happen when years of readiness finally meet a few minutes of pure opportunity.